So you guys remember when Bitcoin unleashed Taproot upgrade and that enabled smart contracts on the Bitcoin network? And then remember when they created ordinals, which are also kind of like NFTs on the Bitcoin network? And basically with Taproot, it allowed, and the smart contract implementation, it allowed for arbitrary data like photos and videos additionally to be stored within the blocks of a Bitcoin blockchain. And so that led to basically 500,000 transactions having to wait to be confirmed on the blockchain. At the time of this recording, that number is down about half to be about 200, give or take 1,000 transactions still waiting in the mempool to be confirmed on the Bitcoin blockchain. It's not clear if it's only these NFT type transactions that are the ones waiting, or if it's just people who haven't bumped up their transaction fees that are waiting. Personally, I've done many Bitcoin transactions that took basically the same amount of time as usual, about 10 minutes, give or take. Now, I did a video about this and what it means for the future of Bitcoin. Is it going to be changing from like the tried and true, simple, foundational thing of just pure peer-to-peer transactions on an immutable ledger? Is it now doing fancy things like NFTs and smart contracts? And how does that affect how Bitcoin is used and who uses Bitcoin? There's a lot of people who are maximalists, who are Bitcoin purists, as if being a Bitcoin maximalist isn't enough. There's Bitcoin maximalists, and then there's the purists of the Bitcoins crowd. And they think Bitcoin should just be pure and simple, stick to what it does best, being simple and robust in that. There's other people who think, you know, this ordinals and these smart contracts on Bitcoin is going to open up the door for different types of users to actually be interacting with the Bitcoin network. If that means that transactions are going to be slower or more expensive, is yet another incentive to work on layer 2s. They do have Lightning Network, but there's probably going to be much more, because now there's actually a use case for a layer 2 on Bitcoin, because believe it or not, there's been some two vocal Bitcoin devs who have been trying to cancel ordinals, trying to cancel the ability to create NFTs and have these smart contracts on Bitcoin, basically. So at first glance, wow, that's kind of alarming, as these two people are, especially if you read how they're talking, they seem to be speaking with a lot of authority and to be like representative of the whole Bitcoin development community. And as the days have gone on, we've seen some, obviously, some other people being quite vocal, saying that they don't represent the whole Bitcoin community. But here's what these two devs were saying. Basically, we can address this and undo it and act like it's a bug fix, making an overall update to the network. It's a very official update compared to something like a BIP, or a Bitcoin Improvement Proposal, which that actually gets voted on by the node operators to actually implement it or not. This is a great reminder of the type of governance happening on Bitcoin. It is all on-chain governance. If you guys are worried about how Bitcoin develops, and if you don't have a say on what kind of upgrades happen on Bitcoin, well, if you want a say, you have to run your own node. Your node is a computer that taps into the Bitcoin network, and you are either you're either running the updates or choosing not to update and not to signal towards any updates. So it's there for you. It's why Bitcoin is called peer-to-peer. It's why it's called permissionless. You don't have to ask permission to run a node. You are going to need an awful lot of storage and computing power, because it's going to have to be running 24 hours a day to keep up with the growing blockchain. But it is certainly possible, and that's how the Bitcoin network runs. Fortunately, I travel too much to actually facilitate and make it feasible to run a node myself. Otherwise, I definitely would. For those of you who do have the capability of doing so, and you care about the future of Bitcoin, and you care about, you know, anyone having too much power over the development of Bitcoin, you can always run your own node and signal towards the updates that you want to see implemented. So anyway, just to wrap this all up, Bitcoin ordinals seem to be here to stay. It doesn't seem to be a very pressing matter that people want to take it out. For those of you who have invested in ordinals or are paying a lot of attention to these, it is not all for nothing. I think they're going to stick around. It's certainly not a super pressing issue at the moment. And again, I think it's going to prove a use case case for other layer 2s in addition to Lightning Network to be functioning to broaden what's happening on Bitcoin while still facilitating the core layer, the layer 1 of Bitcoin. Layer 1 of Bitcoin is always going to be there. So that's going to wrap it up for today. If you guys enjoy this, please hit like, hit subscribe. See you tomorrow. Bye.